morning, welcome to Kite Fishing Cornwall, welcome to Helford Passage. I've fished here a few times in the past looking for Gilthead Bream. Today I'm going to look for bream again, but this is the first time I'm going to have it on the channel. So I will show you the car park here and the launch site and the walk down to the launch site, which is all right on the way down, coming up not so good, but you could always take your car down there and drop your gear off, but I'm not that trusting, and my van wouldn't be easy to turn around down there, so I do it the hard way. But I don't mind a little bit of exercise. It's a really lovely day. I'm here a little bit later than I usually like to get out, but I'm trying to catch the right bit of the tide today. Usually I just fish when it suits me, but yeah, I've tried that down here and not got very far, so today I'm going to try catching a specific bit of tide after the advice of someone who knows what they're doing. This is the car park here, so there's a good few spaces there, and over here where I've got the van, there's, you know, again, quite a lot of spaces, and as you can see, there is room to get vans in here like mine. So if you have got a big van, you can get in here and park it, but like I said, turning it around down the bottom might be a problem. It's a nice view. We've got a northeasterly today, which is it should kind of go more or less with the tide up here, not directly, you know, straight with the tide, but roughly in the right direction, so anchoring up shouldn't be a problem. And it's like 12 knots, so if I find it's a bit much, I can try and get tucked in somewhere. Yes, but for now I'm going to see, I'm early, I'm going to see if I can rustle up a couple of fresh razor clams from nearby, because I've got frozen, but I think obviously fresh bait's always better, isn't it? And the car park here is a bargain, £2 for the entire day at the time of filming, so yeah, that is a bargain. Right, let's get on with it. So that's the beach I'll be launching from. There's a little hut down there. I think you can get like teas and coffees there. They also run a sort of river taxi across the way over to there. Yeah, over to that point over there, which takes you over to the other side of Helford, which is very pretty. They will collar you for a launching fee. I can't remember what it is. I think it's about £3, so it's not exactly going to break the bank. Yeah, as you can see, it's a stunning area down here. It's actually a really nice day. The tide's on the ebb at the moment. It's got a couple of hours of the ebb left, so I'm going to maybe have a little bit of a forage and look for some fresh bait, and come back at launch at low and then anchor up and fish the first bit of the flood. The northeasterly is putting quite a bit of chop on the coast out there, which is why I'm not out there today. It should be nice in here, looks flat enough, so that's why I'm here. Yeah, we'll see if I can pick up my first gilthead. I've had small Couch's bream down here and small bass, but as yet no giltheads. I've got all my eggs in one basket today. I've only brought razor clams for bait, so that's all I'm going to have unless I can find something down here now. Yeah. So as usual, on a fishing day, I was up early and raring to get out and you know, get to it, but I've got down here a little bit early, so I just thought I'd have a stroll along the shore and see if I could find anything useful for bait. A couple of little blennies and things like that, but you know, not really what I was looking for. But it's interesting down here. You can see just how much shellfish sort of life there is just by a quick glance around. It's everywhere you look. So, but here, for example, that's an oyster shell. I don't know exactly what that is. It's, you know, big old snail shell. More oyster shells. We've got all types of clam shells here. Loads and loads of mussels. I think that's a slipper limpet shell. It looks like it's sort of cast off or outgrown its old shell and left the old ones to make a funny spiral. I didn't know they did that. What else have we got? Little scallop shells. And you know, the ones I'm after are razor clams, aren't they? So I've seen some around. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, razor clam shells. So the shells and that will tell you what you can expect to find. And this place is kind of prolific for shellfish. There's just tons of it everywhere you look. You know, half the stuff on the beach is made of bits of shellfish. So when the tide goes down a bit more, I'll get out there and see if we can find a few fresh ones. I only want a few, you know, 3 or 4, just to do this session. I want to come down here and get tons. So yeah, if I can get 3 or 4 just to have some fresh bait, all the better. That wind's chilly though, coming in from the, well, there's more east in it, I think, than north, but it is properly chilly. So I'm going to try and hopefully see if I can tuck my way in out. And when the sun's out, you know, it's warm, but as soon as a cloud goes over the sun, it gets proper chilly. Right, let's see if we can find some razor clams. Right, I've had a very cold hour or so looking for razors down here, but I've not seen a single hole worth tipping any salt on. So I did find a lot of cockles and clams and things, and even a few decent sized oysters. So I've got a few of those. I'm going to sort of lash them to my bait and hopefully get a bit of fresh scent out. Oop, there goes a crab. Yeah, he can go. I didn't really want a crab anyway. So I reckon I'll take those, yeah, lash them to my frozen bait, give it a bit of fresh scent, and just get on with it. So I'm going to head back to the van now and whack the diesel heater on, warm up a bit because I'm freezing, maybe have a sandwich, and then get set up and get ready to get on the water. Hello, welcome to Go Fishing Cornwall again, at Helford Passage. You've just seen the trip down the hill. I won't show you the trip up the hill because, you know, I'm probably going to look pretty bad dragging this thing back up there. But, you know, I'm not afraid of a bit of exercise and a challenge, so I'm up for that. But bear that in mind if you are coming to launch here. You either drop it off down the bottom, or do what I do and drag it all the way down from the car park and all the way back up again. It's a low tide launch. I've just had it confirmed to me that the launching fee for a kayak is £2, but it's only between, I think he said, the 1st of April and the end of October, so the launch there for nothing. One thing you've got to bear in mind if you launch at low tide, in the summer, this place is loaded with boats. There's hardly anything here at the moment, but you know, there's literally hundreds of boats here that you have to weave in and out of on the way out. And as I just discovered then, I had a bit of a mare. I've managed to flick one of my microphones into the water, which I've never managed to do before, but it looks like it's still working. And then my fish finder didn't work, so I couldn't see if it was deep enough to deploy my fins. And then they got hung up on the seabed or on the deck because I was messing about trying to sort my fish finder out and catch my microphone. But I think I've got myself straightened out now. I'm heading in the right direction. The wind is behind me, putting a little bit of windy chop on the water, but I think that will lessen off as I head to where I'm going. I fished here several times looking for Gilthead Bream, and I've caught Couch's bream and bass, not any gilts. But I've always fished sort of the couple of hours before high tide, then over slack water, and then maybe a little bit after high tide. So it's been suggested to me by someone who is a bit of a Gilthead fishing hero round here that I need to try a different state of the tide. So it is now about low water. I'm going to get up to where I'm aiming to fish, sling the anchor over and fish the first couple of 3 hours of the flood. That's the plan. I did go for a little bit of a wander earlier in the hopes of finding some fresh razor clams down on a bit of nearby shore, and I took some footage in that, but there wasn't a lot to see there was nothing to see razor clam wise. I couldn't find any, but what I did find was some like clams and that. So I think what I'll do is I will stick my frozen razors on, and I might lash a fresh clam to it with some bait elastic to add a bit of fresh scent, because yeah, I'm pretty sure what with all the shellfish life around here, the gilts with their munchy teeth are just built for feeding on that kind of thing, so I'm pretty sure they will be partial to a bit of fresh clam. We'll give it a go and we'll find out. If nothing else, then at least I've taken you for a little trip down the Helford River and shown you the launch site and all that there. So, even if I don't catch anything, it's not a wasted trip. Yeah, let's get on with it. I might put the hat camera on and show you some of this scenery. It is a truly stunning place. I mean, it's March, well, mid-March now, so there isn't a lot of greenery on the trees and that, but even still, it's stunning. We have some like incredible dream houses lining the banks of it down here. In the summer, it's obviously all the forests are all greened up, and it's a lot more vibrant and beautiful. So even if you don't catch anything, it's a nice place to come and just chill out for a couple of hours, which is probably what I'll end up doing. Yeah, I'll flip the hat cam on and have a look around. Okay, on the hat cam. So that is where the ferry takes you to from Helford Passage by the Ferryboat Inn. It drops you off over here. Nice place up there with his own little private jetty and a lovely place there. This creek has dried right out. The tides are really big, so look out, I'm in less than a metre of water. So you've got to keep an eye on that at low tide. Yeah, that creek's dried right out. A lot of the creeks will dry out, so I've never claimed to be an expert in any of this, but as I've been told and as I understand it, the giltheads will sort of loiter about down here, well, not here specifically, but loiter about towards the ends of these creeks that dry out during the sort of lower part of the tide, and then obviously if the tide starts to flood up the creeks, the giltheads go up with it, and I guess they're grubbing around in the shallows looking for crabs, cockles, razors, anything like that really that they can munch up and get a feed out of. So I think in the past I've always sort of aimed for deeper water when I've been fishing for them, but what I'll do, I think, is I will anchor up somewhere where I can launch, maybe out of this wind because it's freezing, yeah, where I can launch some baits in towards the shallows as opposed to the deeper water. Yeah, there's another little creek up there, and all these, obviously a few months time they'll all be greened up, and yeah, it'll be gorgeous down here. There's a lot of birds knocking about up ahead of me. I was going to bring, well, I have actually got a set of feathers, and I was just going to sort of see if I could whip out anything on the feathers, but in a hurry to get down here I just ended up bringing 2 rods in the end, so I haven't got a single lure on board, which is probably the first time that's ever happened. It's going to be a straight to where I want to fish job, anchor up, get the baits in and crack on. So I'm heading well, you can see there up ahead of me it's like half a mile or so. It's not a great long stint, but that's where I'm going to anchor up. I'll have a look either side and see which one's going to offer me some shelter, and then make my choice when I get there. Right, I'm going to go for here. Not a lot of water here. Probably won't need any. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Chuck that over the side. I'm going to shuttle that to the back of the kayak. And lock it off in my cleat. There we go. Hopefully, I'll just sit there on that, bang a couple of rods out. Yeah, sun's come out. Well, I ain't gonna last very long, but that's actually warm. That's nice. Right, let's get some baits going. Okay, got my first bait on. I'm in 2 meters here, so I'll keep an eye on that. So I've got an idea whether we're coming or going. So I've just got like 2 hooks rigged through this razor, and I've lashed it up tight. I've got the shell on. These gilts that we're looking for are not afraid of a shell. That's why they've got them massive teeth. And I have used a bit of bait elastic and lashed on a one of those clams I found earlier. So I'm not going to go nuts. I'm just going to lob this gently over there. Okay. Back my drag right off. And we're fishing. So that bait is probably in like a metre of water or so. It's ooh, you know what I should have bought today? Because I never go bait fishing, innit? I didn't bring my leashes. Should have bought my leashes. I ain't fishing baits without leashes on my rods. Yeah, I haven't brought any. Well, that's half a leash. What can I do? Got half a leash there too. Maybe I can make a whole leash out of it somehow. Right, I've got a bit of a swing going on. The wind's swinging me around a little bit, which is annoying, but hopefully when the tide starts to push, it'll keep me in a relatively straight line. This is what I found down on the beach. Look, didn't find any razors, but I did find some of these and these. So I just took half a dozen. There's loads around, and oysters as well, but I really don't like oysters. They're just like, to me, giant salty bogies. So I just took a few of these to tip off my baits a little bit, see if I can give them some fresher scent. I'm just keeping an eye on the fish finder here now. The depth has just started to go up, so that is telling me that the tide is pushing in, and hopefully, if I'm sort of sticking to the sort of margins here, hopefully the fish will start working up through the margins, and yeah, might get a knock or whatever. But I'm gonna give it half an hour here or so, let a bit more water come in, and then I might make my way up this left hand bit of estuary here, and or creek, I suppose it's a creek. Make my way up this bit of left hand creek a little ways, and try a different spot, because I've fished this spot a couple of times at the higher states of the tide, like towards high water, and not really, well, not had any bream, any gilt bream, but yeah, so I'll have half an hour here, I reckon, and then maybe nip up there, put some fresh baits on, re-anchor, and sit up there for an hour or two. That's the plan. Right, so I've rebaited and I've moved spots just up the creek to the left. I've only got a couple 100 yards. I'm in, what am I in? Less than a metre of water. I've got one in real tight and shallow, and one out straight in front too. I've gone quite shallow again. Working on trying out the theory that they're going to be moving up the edges here, looking for stuff that's getting covered by the tide and having a grub about. So we'll give it an hour here, see if anything turns up. So my last baits, I've just flicked them out, and I'm going to give it about half an hour, I reckon, in this spot, and then probably call it a day, because it's pretty cold out here and it ain't getting any warmer. So yeah, half an hour here and I reckon I'll pack it in. But even if I don't get a fish, I've done what I wanted to do, which was get out, get on the water, try a new spot, new tactics. Might not have worked out today, but you've got to try these things, haven't you? And then, eventually you'll find what works. And yeah, I've shown you Helford Passage and what the launch is like down there by the ferry boat. So that might be useful to some people if they're thinking about coming down here. I've got a playlist of other places I've done like similar videos to show people what it's like at various places. If you're thinking of coming down this way and launching your kayak, that might be interesting. So yeah, I get out and fish as much as I can around here. I've got exciting plans for the year to come, but obviously the weather's got to play ball so I can get out on the water. And I've got a secret weapon to unveil just as soon as the conditions will allow. Yeah, if you like what you're seeing or the other videos and that, then give us a like, and a subscription to the channel would be helpful. I'd like to get a few more subs under my belt this year, and keep the videos coming. Thanks. Right, that's it. I'm cold enough. Not a bite today, but you can't win them all, can you? And it's my first attempt at them this year. I'm still working it out. Clearly, I've got a lot of working out to do. So yeah, I'm just going to sort myself out here, get the anchor up, and take myself back to shore. But I'm against the tide and the wind on the way down, so might be a good warm up for that heart attack inducing hill. I've got to drag the kayak up in a minute. Still, that'll be my exercise for the day. As long as it doesn't kill me, it'll be good. Right, let's go. Take you on a trip down the river.